Hello sailors, this is the Dodgy Kebab, and in this video I'll be looking at free-to-play games on the PS3. When I think of free-to-play, I think of shitty games like Candy Crush and Dungeon Keeper. But is it going to be the same sort of dross on the mighty PlayStation? Let's find out. The adventure began when I was browsing through the lightning fast PlayStation 3 store. And I came across a section that said free to play. Inside there was Tekken, DC Universe Online, and some games I'd not heard of, like Deathmatch Village and Pinballistic. There was also that piece of shit Dust 514, which I won't be showing because the people that make it were a bunch of cunts, and they had my video of the beta playthrough flagged for copyright because I made criticisms about their game, so they can fuck right off if they think I'm going to cover it again. I put a bunch of games in my download queue, and while I was waiting I had a thought. I thought, I wonder what the Japanese store has. I wonder if they've got a different selection of free-to-play games. After quite a bit of searching, I managed to find what I was looking for, and yes, they do have different games, so I downloaded them too. By now the English games were beginning to finish downloading, so I dived right in at the top and started with Tekken Revolution. I've never been a big fan of Tekken. I've always preferred Virtua Fighter over it as my 3D one-on-one fighter of choice, but I'm an open-minded kind of guy and was willing to give it a shot. The game features a single player game, an online mode, a customization mode, and the days before I had the recording equipment out, there was a Mokujin Rush mode in which I had to beat the shit out of lots of Mokujins. Starting off with the single player mode is pretty much what I'm used to with the old Tekken games. Pick a fighter, kick some ass. The fighters you can choose from are Bruce Lee, Ken from Street Fighter, Yuna from Final Fantasy X, Akuma from Street Fighter, Strider, Gwen Stefani, Tiger Man, Robot Man, Tiger Robot Man, Bryan Adams on steroids, and a box. The game plays a lot better than the Tekken I remember, and is much more fluid now. I found it pretty easy to pull off the basic moves, and working out the more powerful moves was quite straightforward. The graphics look good, with some vibrant colours and interesting backgrounds. After just 2 matches, I found myself enjoying this a lot more than Dead or Alive 5, which I'd got from PlayStation Plus a few months back. The online mode works well and matched me up with someone who was pretty much the same skill level as me, as in a total novice who was just button bashing. You can dick around and put the points that you earn in single player mode into making a fighter faster and stronger into the character customization mode, but as far as I'm concerned, the single player and online mode are enough for me to have a little blast when I want to, and I haven't had to spend any money on the game. I'm sure hardcore Tekken players will want to throw some money at this and unlock more fighters and skill points, but for what's on offer here, that's enough for me. Next on the list is a game called Pinballistic, and I love me some pinball, so I have a bit of a soft spot for pinball video games. Hell, when I was younger, I used to spend hours playing the pinball game on casino games for the Master System, so I was all geared up for some pinball fun. What I got was actually pretty good. There is only one table that you get in the free-to-play version, you have to buy the others. It's a Wild West theme table, it's okay, but it's got some cool power-ups and plays pretty good. It's got some half-decent graphics, there's some screen tearing, but it's not bad enough to make any sort of difference. So, like I said, the single-player game was decent enough, but it was the battle mode that I found really interesting. The game links 2 tables up in a sort of human centipede sort of way, and throws you into a score attack versus game. The tables are linked, so your ball can go over to the other player's table and vice versa. It makes up for some pretty interesting multi-ball possibilities. You have to buy the other tables, like I said, but it does let you try them out. All in all, this is quite a decent game, and if like me you enjoy a bit of pinball, you'll love this. Deathmatch Village was the next game I tried out, and I thought it looked a bit pants from the word go. I wasn't wrong. 2 minutes into an incredibly boring tutorial level and my mind had already wandered off and started to think about what else I was downloading. What is even worse is it's totally unnecessary to have this tutorial. The controls are so obvious and the level it forces you to run around to try them out is so unnecessarily long. It's like the developers think that people are a bunch of idiots. I mean, come on, if you've decided to buy a PS3 then chances are you've played a video game before. If you've managed to navigate through the PlayStation store to find this piece of shit, then it's not out the realms of possibility that a player can work out to hold a button down to throw a grenade further. At no fucking point ever in the world is this pile of crap going to be the first video game that anyone ever plays. Oh look, my new PS3 came with Gran Turismo and Little Big Planet, but let's see if I can find a game with a redneck running a goddamn pig! Yes, I know how to fire a gun. I've played Worms already. Yes, I know how to jump because I played Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. It's a 2D game where you shoot at each other. Or you would if there was enough other tossers with this game to actually play this game with. Fuck this shit. The next game is DC Universe Online. I played it a year or so back and it wasn't all that good. And I'll be damned if I'm going to wait for this thing to install just to explain to you how shitty a pay-to-play MMO is. Okay, over to the Japanese games now, and the first game is called Angel Love Online, which I did play once back in 2008 on my PlayStation 3. I didn't install DC Universe Online because of the download time, so there's no way I'll bother with this dog of a game when it has an even longer install time. So balls to that and over to SoulCalibur Lost Swords. It's a one-on-one fighting game that's dressed up like an RPG. You fight opponents to unlock points that you can't spend to get items that you don't seem to be able to actually wear, so you can sit through 10 hours of loading screens while you do all of this. Seriously, I captured 25 minutes of footage of this game and only had 3 fights. The programming in this game is some of the worst I've seen in ages. The game brings you a loading screen if you select anything. Move from one menu to another, loading. Select an option, loading. Try to equip an item, loading. Open the shop that doesn't actually let you spend the gold you earn, loading. That's right, there's a shop in the game that doesn't actually let you do anything. It's great. As far as the actual fighting goes, it's okay I guess, it's nothing to write home about. Definitely the worst mechanics of any of the SoulCalibur series though. I don't know what the next game is called, something Soul. I named the captured footage Bullshit Soul because the intro looks like it's going to be a kick-ass Capcom action adventure game. It's got your Japanese anime warriors all looking cool and shit, followed by a game that's nothing like that. In fact, take a guess. So, given this is an intro, what do you think the actual game is? Well, it's this. It appears to be a clone of Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Now, I know some people like those games, but that's not for me, so let's move on to the final game here. The last game is called Parapora Stadium, which I thought was going to be some sort of baseball game. I mean, it sure does look like it's going to be. I mean, can you guess where this game's going to go? Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. It's a trading card battle game. As this game is all in Japanese, there's no way I'm going to be able to play it. Although, what I will say is I pressed random buttons and I managed to level up my character twice. It all looked nice and colourful, and I didn't have to wait 900 years for the game to load, so it ended up being the best Japanese game of the lot. Anyway, that's all. Goodbye everyone.